A new book out by Man Booker Prize-winning author Howard Jacobson takes a comic fairy tale approach to Donald Trump, satirizing the American president as a rude, ignorant, entitled prince named Fracasas. The title of the book is something I can't say on air, but your president did once brag on tape that if you're famous, he thinks you can grab it without a woman's consent. And joining me now is Howard Jacobson, author of this new book, which I shall not say the name of on television. There it is. We blurred it out. Okay, Howard, talk a little bit about this book. You essentially made a satire of a snotty little prince who, I guess, becomes the ruler of the world. Explain.
Yes, I don't suppose it's anybody you immediately recognize. Isn't it wonderful that you can't have the title and yet your president could say it? I think that's a fantastic thing.
Irony.
Fantastically funny. Yes. There was it was the moment when the laughter stopped. I mean, for months, when certainly from where I was in safe old London, watching Trump's rise and not believing anything would come of it, it just seemed amusing. And then the laughter suddenly stopped. He was there. He was going to be president, and I felt anyway, one had to do something about this. One had to keep one's sense of humor, otherwise you're in trouble if you forget to laugh. But there was a new horror about, my God, could this really be? And how could one find a form to express the shock that one felt, the sense of absurdity, the sense of dread, and the disbelief, really. So only a fairy tale could do it. You know how fairy tales will give you the improbable with the innocent, with the sinister. And this was all of these things. It was impossible. It was improbable. It couldn't possibly have happened. It was absurd, but it was very, very frightening. Yeah. So I chose the fairy tale mode, which makes all that possible, and simply deal with this little guy called Fracasas, who is a kind of a baby Trump. It never seemed to be necessary that this baby ever grows up to achieve power, because the particular person I'm parodying never grew up anyway.
There you go. And I'm going to read a little bit of an excerpt from it. And there's a part in this fictional place called Herb's Lettuce. And on his deathbed, the former ruler tells the Trump-like character, who's Prince Fracasas, the secret to leadership. And he says that the secret is you should never keep a single promise that you make. And he says, you ask me, are the people stupid? Very far from it. They can smell a fraud 1,000 miles away. But ask me if they know what's best for them, then the answer is a resounding no, because their besettling weakness is that they love a fraudster. Do you think people sort of secretly love almost to be tricked by a fraudster?
Well, how else do you explain it? I mean, here's the question. One can't assume, we have similar problems back in England, believe me, but you can't assume that the people are completely out of their brain, or you can't stop. You can't leave that with your explanation. So you have to assume somewhere that there is some smartness in voters, and in which case, why would they vote for who they're voting for? They must actually either want to do themselves some harm, and I'm interested in that thought. Is self-destruction in the air here in both our countries, or it might be that they like conspiring somewhere or other as an act of spite against everybody else. They like conspiring with somebody who's somehow or other just not right, yeah. who, if he doesn't tell lies, talks nonsense, who uses very small words, who appeals to the most stupid part of themselves. So I was interested in this, in examining all that. What is it? What is it in our culture that makes us vote for who we're voting for? Why are we doing it? I don't want to blame anybody. I want to ask the question about, are we all responsible for this grotesquerie that you're landed with, and that, you know, before long we're all going to be landed with.
Yeah, and as you are a gentleman from the United Kingdom, I have to ask you your response to, we've seen now threats against theaters in the United States that have just Shakespeare in the name. We've seen sponsors pulling out of a production of Julius Caesar and Shakespeare in the Park, Delta and Bank of America, and some of these are sponsors who sponsored the very same kind of show, but when Barack Obama was the one who was being depicted as Julius Caesar. What do you make of all of that?
Oh, I tell you, if it wasn't that I'd ruin my microphone, I'd tear my hair out. But doesn't it? It's wonderfully interesting, because doesn't it just show that crowd, that Trump and those who support him, actually don't know what a play is? They think a play makes a statement. They think a play is a recommendation. If somebody dies in a play, they think that is telling people go out and kill people. The subtlety of a drama, the subtlety of the language of drama, is completely lost on them. But there's another irony. I seem to remember in the run-up Trump as good as sort of implying maybe Hillary might herself get assassinated.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's violence in the air at the moment, you know, Trump has to ask himself, where's this violence coming from? Isn't it a violence that he himself has launched into the culture? But the main thing for me, I am a writer. The subtlety of writing is what we care about. How can they not know what a play is?
Yeah, that it's fictional. As is a terrific new book by Howard Jacobson. The title, you can imagine what it is. Trump said you could grab it. And it is a terrific book, and we wish you very great luck with it. Thank you, Howard Jacobson.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking to you.
Cheers. And one last thing before we go. Today is Father's Day. We got ourselves football here. We've got ourselves a drill that's actually socks and a tie. So get yourself a last-minute Father's Day gift. We wanted to take a moment to celebrate the dads, the fathers of the AM Joy staff and their dads, the crew and cast of this show. Happy Father's Day to all. And here they are. Day to all, and one more quick shout out before we go. Yesterday I attended a Carroll family reunion. We barbecued Guyanese style, dal puri, the whole nine. Big shout out to all my wonderful family. Happy Father's Day to everyone. That is our show for today, and thank you for watching, and happy Father's Day to you guys. We'll see you next week, same time, same bat channel. Coming up next on MSNBC, what President Trump meant when he tweeted that he is under investigation. New reaction from one of his personal attorneys, and the great, fabulous Alex Witt next.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.